Dean, how good did it feel to be out there? I know you've been anticipating this for a while, but just to get on the ice, to see what the ice is like, to get somewhat familiar with the surroundings, does this give you a big aid going into tomorrow, knowing what to expect?
Well, it gives us an excitement level, right? It gets us jacked up, and it's the start of it. I mean, you guys have been asking a lot over the last while, and maybe even all year, looking forward to this. Sure, yeah, have we? And we've been, we can't look too far ahead and all that kind of stuff, but it's here, right? It's here, so it's exciting. Ask the group to take it in, to just enjoy the experience, especially today. We'll talk tomorrow about the puck drop and 2 points and all that kind of stuff. But today's about, getting prepared, no different than it is the day before a regular season game and in an arena. Like, you're preparing, but you can still have some fun and enjoy it. And it's very special out there. Hopefully the guys enjoyed it with their families and friends.
Left side, second row.
Dean, the day is here, but it's such a meaningful game too in terms of the standings and what this means, and it's maybe the most meaningful in terms of standings outdoor game based on the timing and you guys being tied. So what does that do to add to what already would have been a special event?
Well, I'm torn with that question, just because, like, shouldn't every game be super important? Like, I get that, I get where we're both at in the standings, but I also think that we're coaching in the NHL, where the players are playing in the NHL. You're trying to win every hockey game. You're competing. It's your livelihood, and it's you want to compete your butt off and try to get 2 points every night. So sure, are the standings tight and all that and what have you, but we should be able to play the game the same way every night, regardless of where we sit. Yeah, I think we stress to our group, doesn't matter who, when, or where we play. We play the same way, the exact same way. So if we're playing on the road, if we're playing outside, if we're playing in our fantastic arena, then we play the same way. And hopefully all coaches talk and stress consistency, and that's all we're looking for. If we can be close to consistent every night of how the Columbus Blue Jackets play, we'll give ourselves a chance to win.
Left side, standing up in the back.
Over here. Coming back from the break, you get three pretty key players back from injury, obviously, into your lineup. I'm wondering how much has that helped, just kind of with the effectiveness of your forecheck, your aggression? I mean, it seems like you guys are really kind of forcing the issue maybe even more than you had been before the break. And did the break itself help just with some rest?
Yeah, I'd argue that our groups played that way regardless of who's in our lineup. And is it nice to get pros back that have played in the National Hockey League for a long time, and experience and skill and all of those wonderful things? Sure. But the guys that were playing prior to before they got in, they're playing the same way. So, again, going back to consistency thing, doesn't matter who you're playing with or where you perceive your ranking on the line chart or the defensive chart or the two goaltenders. We play the same way.
Back left.
An event like this, a lot of times there's a lot of neat, special, cool moments. What was it like after practice today to be out there with the families and see the guys out there skating with their kids?
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole experience is about, right? We're very fortunate to be in the role that we're in, regardless if you're a coach or a trainer or a player, and especially a player, that you shouldn't take for granted of what we do for a living. And to share that with your family and with friends or with people that haven't had that experience, to be inside and to be on that ice and to skate around and look at this environment, it's amazing. And I don't think it's lost on anybody. It's certainly not lost on me.
Front left.
Dean, when we talked yesterday, you didn't have an update on Cole Sillinger. So what more were you able to find out? And if he can't play, just how tough of a break would that be?
He's definitely not playing tomorrow. We'll see. Obviously it's upper body. Not obviously, it is upper body. But I'll say this, it wasn't as bad as we were thinking it was, but that's only one day out as well. But he is definitely not in our lineup tomorrow night.
Front right.
Dean, you've been through this a couple times before. Just what were your impressions of the venue, of the setting, the atmosphere, just as a guy who's been through a couple of these before?
It's amazing, right? To look at this building and what it's been through, the history, and you know, it's just such a iconic building. It's so cool to look at, and the sight lines are amazing. Like we played in Minnesota in a baseball stadium, obviously in Target Field. And the sight lines are a little bit different. Like if you look at this, it looks like our arena. It's just a little further away, right? Looks like Nationwide, but and then you continue looking up and see all of the, you know, the great dimensions of the shoe, and it gives you chills when you're looking at it. And that's what we wanted the guys to experience, to look up there and to see that and go, wow, that's pretty cool that we're actually skating on this turf, basically.
Do a few more for Coach, front left.
Dean, you mentioned about not taking these moments for granted, and of course there's a player that's important that isn't here, and that's Johnny Gaudreau, but the league is making sure that he's going to be acknowledged in a meaningful way. It's something that Steve mentioned from the beginning was important to them. Why is that important to you?
Well, it's obvious, obviously, but Johnny has been, you know, like we've had some success this year, what have you, points-wise, but our group has been very close from day one. And Johnny is still teaching us so many ways. We talk about him a lot. You know, Meredith will be walking us out tomorrow, and Johnny's mom was with us on the mom's trip, and his dad's been on the ice. There's just so many ways that Johnny has inspired us. And the biggest thing, and I told this a few times, but I had only one opportunity to meet him, and I flew there after I was hired here. And I just wanted to get a feel for him and him feel for me. And what struck me is that not one time did he say, you know, I want to play with this guy, or our power play should be this setup or whatever. All he said is, I want to win. I want to win, and I want this to be a close team. And that's what our guys are. I didn't get the opportunity to coach him or to see him in the dressing room or on the ice or on the bench, but everyone speaks of him as just this love of the game of hockey. And our guys have embraced that. If you've watched our post-game award, it's a donkey hat, and Johnny apparently called everybody donkeys. So he's constantly with us. He's in our dressing room. His jersey's there every night, and not just game nights. He's with us all the time. We talk about him all the time. It's like today. I asked Boone Jenner. I said, "Do you think Johnny would like to be here?" And he says, "Hell yeah, he would." And so he's always with us.
Back right.
Dean, I know Putio is out on the ice practice. Is he someone who could draw in tomorrow? And what do you like about his game? What element does he add to the lineup?
Yeah, he'll play tomorrow. He's a penalty killer for us. He's played extremely well. Obviously, he went down to Cleveland, but whenever he's been here, he's just been a good, sound hockey player. He's got a skill set about him. I think that he'll be able to put numbers up as he gets more confident in his abilities, but he's a pro at a young age. He just does a lot of those little things right. Coaches love players like that. He'll be a good fit for us here tomorrow.
There are no more questions. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Zach, your team has made this game, well, both teams have made this game really meaningful in the standings based on, you know, where we are in the season and everything. So what does that element do to add to what was already going to be a special event?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was our goal kind of going into the year after some of the injuries early on, was to play meaningful hockey at the Stadium Series, and that's exactly what we're doing. Tie with them in the standings, play them last night in a good, hard-fought battle, and I feel like tomorrow's going to be much of the same thing. It's just going to be a tight game, not much out there. Obviously, conditions are a little bit different, but we're excited for it. We're going to enjoy everything that the event has to offer, and then once the puck drops, we're going to be ready to go.
Back left.
Zach, you've had a pretty crazy month here going to the Four Nations and then playing in this right now. Have you had had time to really soak all of this in and enjoy some of these moments that you've been going through personally?
A little bit. I think I was actually talking to Matthew Tkachuk at the Four Nations, and he's played in the Stanley Cup a few times, and he won one last year. And one of the things he said to me was, just look around and enjoy it. Like, enjoy the moment we're in right now, playing against Canada, at the Garden, at the Bell Center, playing against Sweden, and now obviously this next one for me is going to be another one where I just kind of look around and enjoy it and take it all in. So I feel like he's a guy that after he said that, I remember myself in the Canada game at the Garden, TV timeout, just skating around, looking at the crowd, looking up in the stands, and just really trying to embrace these moments, right? These don't come around too often. So I feel like that was great advice from him, and I feel like today we talked about it as a group to enjoy this. It's not something you do every day. It's, playing an event like this, and I'm going to do the best I can to just enjoy it all. But once the puck drops, it's going to be all business.
Right side, second row.
Zach, it's tough for all the injured guys, but how much do you feel for Cole Sillinger getting this close to the game, getting injured last night, and not being able to play tomorrow?
Yeah, that's probably the toughest one. I mean, a lot of the other guys kind of had an idea they weren't going to play in this game, a couple months ago, which is still tough to swallow. But I feel like silly, it's come so close, come one game away, and it's unfortunate for sure. Talked to him a little bit today. He was, had a great mindset about it, which is awesome. He's a true pro and a guy that gets it and understands. And we probably feel worse for him than he feels. It's terrible, right? He's a guy that's played in a ton of games since he's been an 18-year-old in this league. Hasn't really dealt with too much injury trouble, and it sucks. It's one game away, but we definitely feel for him. But he's got the right attitude about it for sure.
Right side, front row.
See, what were your impressions just walking out here and into this stadium? As a Michigan guy, I know, but what were your impressions of what you saw, the atmosphere, the setting, all of it?
It's incredible. Yeah, no rivalry for me this weekend. I'm just, putting that out there now. I don't really care about it. It's one of those things where it's a historic venue. They are the national champs. There's buzz around that. It's great for our fans, for our city. It's great for our team, our organization. And for me, it's always fun playing against my hometown team, Detroit. So I feel like just the whole event for me is super special. Like I said, our city, everyone else involved. But it was really cool walking out there today and seeing it from ice level. We were on the field for a football game earlier this year, so I kind of had an idea what it's like down there. But to see a hockey rink out there is totally different element. So I'm really excited for tomorrow.
From a hockey perspective, anything you had to take into account?
Yeah, it's a lot different out there. It's actually nice having that skate today. I feel like the wind, how the puck moves, the ice isn't the best. Everything looks different. Your depth perception out there is a lot different. So I feel like, getting into those game-like situations and moving around out there and trying to make plays is huge today. I'm sure it's going to be a learning curve tomorrow with how fast the game's played, but it's one of those things where both teams are dealing with it. So just trying to keep it simple early on.
Back of the room.
Zach, you and Dylan Larkin are close friends. You guys have shared many memories together on the ice, whether it's competing with each other or against each other. Just how special is it now to compete against him in the Stadium Series game tomorrow?
Yeah, just one more thing to add to our friendship. So obviously I'm hoping we get the better of them, but it's going to be awesome going up against him. I saw him a little bit. I didn't talk to him. I saw him playing soccer out there today. My fiance was like, should we go say hi to him? I'm like, no, we're not doing that now. We hate those guys until the game's over. But, it's like I said, it's one of those things where it's another cool thing to add to our friendship. We've been through a lot together on the same teams and have a history of battling against each other in the NHL. So this is just one of those games where we're both going to enjoy it. We're going to battle hard, and after the game, I'll give him a hug and talk about it. So both excited for it.
We'll just wait for the mic to come front left here.
Zach, in all the time that you've been with the Blue Jackets, is this the closest that the room has been in your sight?
Definitely one of the closest for sure. It's hard to think back on the early days when I was here. We had some pretty close teams there. First year we won 16 straight, had 109 points. We had a close group then for a number of years, but definitely the closest group that I've been on in a number of years here for sure. We're all just playing for each other. We enjoy coming to the rink. There's no cliques in the room. Everyone just hangs out with each other. Sit next to new guys on the plane all the time. It's just been a lot of fun. I feel like when you have that atmosphere in your room, you're bound to have success, and that's what we're doing right now. We're just playing hard and playing for each other, and we have that collective team buy-in, and it's been a ton of fun coming to the rink, and this is another moment for us to just come even closer together and just enjoy it together. So definitely one of the closer groups I've been on.
We'll do one more back left.
Zach, just at Four Nations, that was obviously a very tough loss for the U.S., for you guys. And also you expended a lot of energy. Coming back from that, has it been a bigger challenge, just maybe either from an emotional standpoint than you expected, or just about kind of the same?
I think I probably think it. Well, I know I thought it was going to be a little bit harder, just because for those 7 days of the tournament, you're so mentally focused, and you fly home the next day, and then you play the day after. So I kind of felt like I was going to struggle a little bit just mentally. But I felt good in the Chicago game, and they're huge points for us. Played at home 2 games, and then going to Detroit's always fun for me. And then this is a great game as well. So I feel like it's been an easy transition. We're in a great spot here in Columbus with where we're at, fighting for points. And we haven't done this in a long time. So I'm just super excited about that. I mean, definitely there's a couple days in between there on the practice days where they gave me off that I needed. But when it comes time for puck drop, I feel like I said, we're in a really cool spot right now fighting for playoffs. So I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to battle with the guys and have fun doing it. So probably a little bit easier than I thought it would have been.
Thank you for your time, Zach.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Hey, Boone, sorry to start with this one, but Dean Evason just told us an anecdote where he said, you think Johnny would have liked this? And you said, yeah. What would he have loved about this event?
Well, he loved the game. He loved his teammates. He loved everything about it. So, I mean, he loved his family, and, that family skate after would have been special for him too. So, yeah, it's, we think about him and what he would do a lot of times, and what would Johnny do, or what would Johnny say, and how would he approach this, and there's no doubt he would have had a blast, and we're going to play for him obviously tomorrow, and like we have all year, and honor him that way, the best way we can. And I think, like Dino said, he would have loved this, everything about it. I think he loves the game of hockey, being around his teammates, but especially the family skate and having everyone in town. I think, any All-Star game he went to, he had a big crew following him. So, like I said, we're going to honor him the best way we can tomorrow for sure.
Right side, first row.
Boone, you worked so hard to get back obviously you got a couple in earlier before this game, but you worked so hard to get back for this game. What were your impressions as you walked out there, your practice, the family skate, the whole nine?
Yeah, it kind of blew me away at first. I mean, just the seeing the ice out there for the first time, pretty special. And, enjoying it with my teammates. It's something we've been looking forward to. I think I was saying the other day, we came to a football game here as a team at the end of training camp, and it was tough to picture an ice surface out there. So to actually see it out there was pretty special. They did a good job, and as far as it's something you don't get to do very often in your career. So to be able to have family in town, and your loved ones and friends, and everyone that's supported you along the way, you get to share this moment with them. So the family skate was great, and just try to soak it all in. Like I said, it doesn't happen often, and to do it here is special for us. That have been coming to these games and been in this stadium plenty of times for football games or concerts or wherever it is. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Back left, standing up.
Boone, you've been a part of this city for a long time. Have you imagined tomorrow and what it would be like, and what do you think this is going to be for the city tomorrow?
Yeah, hard to imagine. There's definitely a buzz around the city already. I'm sure you guys can see and tell, and it's huge for us here in Columbus, and our fans get to experience this. It's the first one in our organization history, and to do it here in Columbus at this, Ohio Stadium is so special. It's not surprising that all these, or the number of tickets that are sold, I hear are sold. Because we have a a huge fan base here, passionate fan base, tremendous support that's been with us all season, and we kind of get to share this moment with them, and it's going to be great.
Back right, Corey.
Boone, a lot of the guys have talked about, tragedy really bringing this team closer together. As captain, you'd have a big role in that, but you've also been hurt. So what's this experience kind of for you this season been like as, an emotional leader on this team, but, someone who hasn't been on the ice?
Yeah, that's definitely different for me in my career. As a leader or someone that, kind of prides himself on leading by example. And, when you can't do that, it's hard, and you kind of, try to find other ways. And I think for myself and a couple other guys that have been injured, you got to, stay involved as much as you can. And Dino's been great that way with, having us in meetings and, practice days. We're around the team pretty much the whole day. And, you're missing the road trips, you're missing the games, which is hard. And you're just trying to, maybe lead a different way or learn a different way of leading, I guess. And I definitely, it was a learning curve that way. And but at the same time, you just want to put the work in to get back to this moment and be with this group of guys.
We'll do a few more left side, second row.
Boone, does the meaning of the game as it relates to the standings add meaning to the event for you?
Yeah, big time. I mean, how can it not? It's it's a crucial game for us. This home and home with Detroit, it's a huge challenge for us with where we're at in the standings. It is, 23 games left here, 20 whatever games left, and each game's kind of gets bigger and bigger. So obviously, being tied with them in the standings now, this is a huge game tomorrow, and obviously, we're going to, enjoy it tonight and today at the practice and, soak it in as much as possible. But obviously, big 2 points tomorrow at stake for us.
Take two more questions, front left.
Boone, so what's the biggest thing that Don and Dean have brought to the team in the first season?
There's been a lot. I think just when we came to training camp, that first meeting, I think I remember most, and just how we're going to play as a team, and everything's earned, not given. And that's kind of stuck with this group. And I think the whole year we've kind of stuck together. We play for each other. There's no individuals in the room. It's all team first. And when you have that environment, it's fun to be around. It's special to be around. And we definitely have that in that group. So, I think that's where it stems from.
Last question, front right.
Boone, earlier this week, you talked out here about how many football games you attended out here. You've seen the Buckeyes come down that tunnel and how exciting kind of the beginning of the game is. Was it a little surreal walking down the tunnel today? And did that give you a little preview of what it'll be like tomorrow? I mean, it'll be different tomorrow because there's so many people. But
yeah, it's definitely a cool experience and a cool tunnel. Hard to imagine with, everybody in the stands. But it's going to be a pretty special moment for sure. And try to soak that in. It's a pretty cool walk from the locker room down that tunnel and then onto the ice. So definitely watch them come out of there plenty of times for football games. I'm not sure, maybe ask the Michigan guys. I don't know if they said anything different, but we're definitely excited to, experience that and just playing in front of that many people. I mean, I've definitely the biggest crowd I'll ever play in front of probably. So try to just enjoy that as much as possible.
Thank you for your time, Boone.
All right, thanks, guys.